I think one of the reasons that it's hard to get a clear picture, an honest picture of American poverty, is that no demographic lies about the conditions of American poverty as reliably, as desperately as those who are in it. We have built into our culture an idea of financial meritocracy. If you work hard and you have the right stuff, you can rise to the top. You can work your way up to CEO in the company that initially employed you as a janitor. The American dream. This idea of meritocracy, and we don't call it a meritocracy, means that there is an enormous amount of shame attached to financial distress. Our hypocrisy in regarding this is evident in the ways that we respond to poverty as a generality versus poverty in its particulars. In addressing poverty as a general issue, we will kowtow to the meritocracy. In addressing poverty in its specifics, like a loved one or a relative, someone that we generally like, there we will talk about misfortune. There we will talk about bad luck, or we will talk about events that brought about the conditions. There we might even go so far as to recognize some systemic iniquities, but not likely. When talking about our own conditions, we're right back in the liar game. We tell people that we're doing okay. We lie about the degree to which we have access to health care and can afford it. We lie about the quality of our health. We lie, or at least play in euphemism, discussing the degree to which crime and violent crime have a day-to-day impact on our lives. There is quite a bit of racism built into the euphemisms that we use. Very rarely would we refer to a trailer park as a ghetto. Never mind that in terms of socioeconomic standing and the presence of drug traffic and violent crime, theft, the whole kit and caboodle. Never mind that by every significant metric of quality of life, that's exactly what it is. One of the places I lived in Georgia was in a bad neighborhood. By bad neighborhood, I mean it had the highest per capita homicide rate in the state. This zip code. After the fourth time somebody abandoned a car with bodies in the trunk and set fire to the car directly in front of my driveway, the fourth time this happened, I made the mistake of bringing this up to my landlord, and maybe pointing out that this neighborhood may have some issues. Also bearing in mind that I was the only person on my block in the time that I was there that did not have a break-in, in no small part due to the very, very large dogs that I had in the house. He vehemently objected to the idea that this neighborhood was a ghetto, and this is priceless. He said it's a black middle-class neighborhood, and that we need to understand, I needed to understand, that black middle class did not mean the same thing as white middle class. Let's never mind the built-in message there that if you're black, homicides, car bombings, and the occasional house fire are just par for the course, and really something that you should expect as part of your life experience and should get used to as part of your life experience. Not something that you have any right to object to. Never mind that for a moment. This is a man watching police pull corpses out of the burned wreckage of a car. Not the result of a collision. This was corpse disposal on the part of somebody who killed these people. He is watching police recover the corpses from the car that it took the firefighters 20 minutes to put out. Not 100 yards from his front door. And he is saying, there's nothing wrong with this. And he's saying, this is middle-class life. Now, I do want to make it very clear, I'm not pointing this guy out as especially foolish or as, for that matter, guilty of anything that I'm not also guilty of in varying times and degrees. It's such a striking example of the ways that we lie to ourselves.